Alright, gang, you know what time it is. I took the time I had, instead of editing videos, which I can do at any time, spent most of the day recording, so now there's not one, not two, but three scripted videos coming up. One's an hour long, the other's 45 minutes, and the other is at Shonen Jump Work. So, there you go. We're having a lot of fun, so I'm going to wrap my day up while I wait for these, a particular type of candy that you can legally buy in California that's only for adults, allegedly. While I wait for the effects of that to happen, let's do some tier list. Are we ready? Was that too much for YouTube? I don't know. Oh, shit. Okay, I think this kind of video may be more appropriate for like a stream, but whatever. Oh, I forgot to have the music playing. Whoop. There. Okay. This time, yeah, I didn't forget about the music this time. Sorry. Chikorita. Very good. That's a trans rights Pokemon right there. I need to explain. So, Chikorita is my first introduction to trans rights, even though I didn't know it at the time. So the way Generation 2 mechanics tend to work, is, the way breeding works is, Pokemon that are a particular, sex, which the game just insists on calling gender, because I guess I just don't want the word sex in Pokemon, which is reasonable, I suppose, is when you're breeding, the gender of the mother is going to determine the gender of the egg. So they just didn't really want you to be able to, just clone a bunch of starters, I'm guessing. So they just arbitrarily made the starter Pokemon very unlikely to be female. But, I mean, look at Chikorita. This is obviously a girl Pokemon. If you think this is a guy, you're smoking crack. I don't know what to tell you. So, you are now stuck in a position where, regardless of what Chikorita was born as and what it says on its birth certificate, that is a girl Pokemon. And that's really not up for discussion. You obviously cannot read. You can't take any social cues if you think Chikorita is a dude. So, there we go. That's trans rights. That's basically the same logic that we use in real life for trans people. So that's pretty based. Chikorita's head looks kind of like an apple, I guess. It's okay. A lot of people hate this thing, but it's kind of grown on me over the years, so there we go. I like Bayleaf quite a bit more. I can kind of see what they're going for. It has a way more dinosaur-like quality. It has more of a snout. I don't like how Chikorita does not have a snout, but maybe that's because they wanted it to be different from Bulbasaur. Again, usually I don't like these gender-coded Pokemon, but I don't know. I think I just like Chikorita. I like the concept of it. It doesn't, nothing about it seems like overtly sexual, which is probably why I like Chikorita. And by sexual, I mean, like, no boobies, no, like, thick thighs or anything weird like that. Just, regular old monster. No degeneracy. Meganium, I like Meganium the most of that line. In fact, okay, so one, as you, I don't know why you'd be watching the Generation 2 without watching the Generation 1 first, but one, Dinosaur. Two, Kaiju. I'd appreciate a Meganium Kaiju. I love that the necklace Chikorita has slowly goes to blossoming into a flower. That's pretty cute, and I like that. It's a big old dinosaur. It looks very reliable, very kindly. It looks like a thing that you could really count on in a pinch, but not in a way that you would for the rest of the starters, and I really appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is Cyndaquil. It's probably like the top of D, I think. No, I have stronger feelings about Cyndaquil. I don't like its nose, I don't like its color, I don't like how its eyes are always closed. It's supposed to be a quill-like Pokemon, like a, what are those stupid things called? Porcupines. But I don't think that really shows throughout its design especially well. And if I look at a Pokemon and I'm not really sure what it is, and that's pretty bad. I don't like using that, realistic beigeish brown to represent fire-type Pokemon, and I don't like how it's using blue either. Really not a fan of anything on this thing. I don't hate it. There will definitely be starters that I don't like more. I appreciate the ambition of what Cyndaquil is, but I just don't like it. But again, for these Kanto Pokemon, for these first two generations, you can kind of curve a grade. Like, for me, a Johto D is different from an Unova D, right? Like, a Johto D, I'll think about it. A Unova D, I'd rather die. I think I'm saying a lot of things on YouTube that I shouldn't say. I actually wouldn't rather die. I don't want to joke about that, actually. But I would rather simply not use it and not use it in a game. And if it came down to using it in a Nuzlocke or not using it, I'd probably just end up not using it, unless if it turns into something that I can tolerate. There. I think that was honest enough about my intention. I like Quilava just a little bit more. I don't love Quilava, though. It's another in the long line of starters that are taking the route of trying to be more cool than their previous forms, and I do appreciate that. That's very good. Because starting from, like, part of Generation 3... but it really, really hits its stride in Generation 4. You're going to stop seeing these kind of cool middle phase starters and start seeing like more bad ones that fail to capture the cuteness of the first phase, but fail to capture the coolness of the third phase. And these Generation 1 and 2 Pokemon basically do a good job of capturing both. Typhlosion, I don't like Typhlosion, but I like it more than Cyndaquil. So for a lot of these, it's just an animal Pokemon. I actually do tend to like them a little bit more than usual, but I don't like when they have a power, though. I like that Typhlosion has a little bit of a mane. That's pretty cool, but it just looks a little bit too humanoid to me. I know in this image, Quilava is, standing up, but it's usually sitting down. It's usually running, kind of like a fox. Actually, I kind of wish it had more fox-like qualities, I'm not going to lie. I think if I saw this thing in motion more, without its 3D model that looks notoriously bad, and it just looks like a limp fucking noodle, I'd probably like it more, but oh well. I don't know. It's just a Pokemon. This really feels like a starter. By the books, a starter. Probably a solid C+, I suppose. Definitely worse than Charizard. Right, I like, Chikorita, or, not Chikorita, Totodile. I like that it's full of energy, it looks raring to go. It's a Pokemon that obviously is based around biting, but it's very immature, it's very wild and energetic, so that biting isn't really a hunter's instinct, it's more of a playful bite, kind of like a house pet that just isn't, trained fully yet, but it's just stronger than you would think. Like, if you've ever, had, like, a pit bull or something, animals do bite. Like, that's what they do when they get really excited when they're babies. But some animals just have a stronger bite strength than others, like pit bulls. So, it reminds me kind of that, where it's, just a very harmless creature, but just has, like, a very strong bite to it. I don't know how I feel about that V on its chest, but I don't know what else I would have done with it. Maybe have made the V bigger, but that would have came off as, like, a vest, and I don't like when Pokemon are, like, wearing clothes. Well, I don't like it when they're specifically not wearing clothes either, but I don't like it when they're sort of coded to be wearing clothes. That said, I'm gonna make a total hypocrite of myself. I like Crocodile, probably a little less than Totodile, actually. Because it has a sort of caveman primal-like vibe to it. I don't know, there's something about its design that kind of comes together. It has a little bit of a mohawk going on, both to represent that teen phase some Pokemon kind of have, but the cool, badass teen phase. Has a little bit of a caveman aesthetic. Its tail kind of looks like a little bit of an axe to me. Again, caveman aesthetic, a little bit of punk or grunge going on. Or maybe that's supposed to be like more of a ripped shirt. I think it's because it's going over like one arm. It makes me think of it makes me think of a caveman, but That might not be it. But I like Crocodile for Alligator. Okay. This is one that, like, 10-year-old me is gonna hate. I think the more artwork I see of for Alligator, the less I like it. Its initial sprite is okay, but every time I see it, I just like it a little bit less. I like what it's about. Actually, you know what? Nah, it's fine where it is. Actually, yeah, that seems about right. I like Crocodile for Alligator. I don't know how I feel about its little arm pads it has going on. I don't know how this creature swims. I mean, I've seen artwork of it swimming, and that looks okay, but this really looks like a land-bound creature. It has a very monstrous and wild quality that I like, but I don't see why it had to be more humanoid. I'm not really a fan of that, but I think it's okay. It's fine. I like it well enough. I like how... Actually, no, I like it pretty well. Just less than the others. Yeah, it seems right. I like how both Meganium and Feraligatr have dragon-like qualities or reptilian qualities without trying to wow you with it. I really appreciate that. I like these sort of dragon-ish or dragon-adjacent Pokemon that are not explicitly dragons, but have some draconic-like qualities, but don't really rely on that for a coolness factor. I don't like Sentret. Not a fan. I don't like so I understand it's supposed to get up on its tail and scout out the area, but also reveal sort of like a target in a video game. I'm not really sure what to do with that. Does anyone like Sentret? I don't know. I don't like its design. I don't like its shape. It's supposed to be a rabbit, but I don't like that either. I don't like it. I like Furret well enough. This is one that as a kid I actually really didn't like, but after seeing that walking animation, I'm actually way more into Furret. It's long. It's a big long ferret, big long cat. That's pretty good. I like that the circles on it become bands. That's pretty good. Its tail sort of gets absorbed into the rest of its body. It actually seems a little, like, very dissimilar to Sentret, actually. I like its whiskers. I like its more animal-like eyes and face. I like its little tiny paws. It's very cute. I like it. I like that it's, like, 6 feet long. That's what she said. Hoot Hoot. Hoot's pretty good. I like its big old red eyes that it shoots psychic powers from. This is a Pokemon based around the time system Johto has, where everything's very time sensitive. It's supposed to look like a clock, but that doesn't always show, with its little big eyebrows kind of being the hour and minute hand. But I appreciate they didn't go too far with this. I think if Hoot Hoot came out today, it would be a little bit more explicitly clock-like, and I'm not sure how I'd feel about that. I like Hoot Hoot. Weirdly enough, I think I like it a little bit more when it's shown with 2 feet instead of 1. It's very cute, very ball-like. I'm not really sure why it has to be ball-like, but okay. Noctowl, I like a little bit more. It doesn't have the same gimmick as Hoot Hoot, but I think it's the first one. Well, not the first, but much like Meganium, it has that it doesn't look very powerful, but it looks very proud of what it is. And that's one of the key factors I look for in a fully evolved Pokemon. Actually, Sentret is one of the few that actually don't have that I don't hate. It looks like a very ancient and wise being. I don't know if I care much for the triangles on its chest, but I appreciate that there's something on its chest, I suppose. I like its big old eyebrows. I don't like how it kind of goes up a little bit in the center, but I do appreciate the way its eyes are sort of shaped. It looks like a very cool video game owl. And actually, weirdly, one of the first Pokemon that I would probably honestly critique it as not looking enough like a Pokemon. But that's because video game owls are just such a well-worn concept, especially in Nintendo games. I don't like Ladybug. Look, it has an old man looking face. I don't like its shape. I don't understand how this thing moves around. The way it's angled looks wrong to me. I don't know. I don't know why it's called the 5-star Pokemon. I don't know. I don't like anything about this thing. It has weird cartoon hands that look a lot better on Lydian. Are you ready for this? Are you fucking ready for this? I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this one. Bottom of A, boys. So Ladian is a Pokemon that kind of had to grow on me because I didn't understand what Ladian was supposed to be, and I get it now. It's an Ultraman Pokemon. It's a Tokusatsu hero-like Pokemon. A lot of Tokusatsu character masks are based around bugs. This one is a ladybug. It has a very common rider-like thing about it. I like its shape. It's very cute. I don't know why this evolves from Ladybug specifically. Again, they look incredibly dissimilar to each other. And while this is very arguably one of the worst Pokemon statistically, right down there with, like, I don't know, Kricketune or something. I do like the vibes of a hero that it has. I like its little wings doubling as sort of a cape. Something about this Pokemon just really clicked for me later in life. I don't know why. I don't know how. It might be the color. It could be me just having a deeper appreciation from my time on Twitter for Tokusatsu. I like Spinarak a lot too. I don't know if I care for the horn, but I like its expression on its back, that it can change independently to actually be smiling. I'm not a fan of the horns, I'm not a fan of the legs, but I do like the overall package. I think what I see in Spinarak is the fixed version of what I see in Ladybug. I don't always like these very humanistic eyes that Ladybug has. I don't like its jaw. It doesn't quite look like a naturally occurring ladybug enough, the way Spinarak does. That said, I like that Ariados has a bigger horn, but I think I like it a little less than Spinarak. I almost like it more, except for that, I don't know, there's something about its body that's a little too ant-like. I don't like the coloration on its legs. I don't like those two little things on its back, those two extra legs there. Are those supposed to be more legs? Like, its two legs decided to just go up? I'm not really sure. Maybe the back of it is supposed to be a another face. Like, if you look closely, you can kind of see one dot here. So maybe it's supposed to look like a horned Pokemon from the back. But I don't think you really see Ariados from that angle all too often, except for when it's being, like, flipped over or something. I do like that its horn is bigger, though. Crobat is a Pokemon I'm incredibly biased against because I do a lot of Nuzlocking. And Crobat comes up very often because I'm just bad at Nuzlocking, and I'm honestly just sick of seeing it. So realistically, I earnestly, in my heart of hearts, think that Crobat deserves to go in S, but I'm putting it at top C, or high C rather. Mostly on grounds of I'm just sick of looking at it, because I see it so often, because I'm bad at video games. I know I said I was not going to rate the, or, you know, put them in a tier based on their usefulness in game, but I find that to be hard to ignore for Pokemon specifically, because my broader perception, of a given Pokemon is obviously going to be changed based on my, experience with it. That's probably why something like Starmie, if you would ask me in, like, 2008, I would have put it in F, but if you ask me in, like, you know, now, I think I put it in, like, A or S or something like that. So, you know, it is what it is. I do think it's where did I put Golbat last time? I don't remember where I put Golbat. It's definitely an improvement over Golbat, and I think I definitely did put Golbat a little higher than whatever I have here. You know what? I think I am feeling a little higher than. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll be cool with you today. Just looking at some of these guys, you know what? I can dig this more than Spinarak. I can dig this more than Chikorita. You're getting off lucky. Okay, our second S, Chinchou. It's a cute little football fish. I like that they gave it some anthropomorphic qualities, but not really human-shaped ones, in that it's oriented to be facing forward and have a long head, like I'm just looking at its face instead of its whole body, in a way that you'll see with a Lantern that has the more traditional fish face. This is a fun, interesting take on an anglerfish, because those creatures are absolutely horrifying. And while I wish we did have a sort of deep sea version of it, I really like the colors and contrast that well, I mean, yes, Lantern, but more so Chinchou has. It's very cute. I like its little football shape. I like how it has little legs. I think I'd like it less if I saw it walking around more, but I mostly only see this thing underwater, so, yeah, I like it. It's very cute, and there we go. I like Lantern a little bit less, but I really like Lantern. It might even be one of my favorite water-type Pokemon. Basically, all the things I said about Chinchou, except for the shape is different. Again, for such a absolutely hideous creature that the football or anglerfish is, I appreciate that they went for a more dolphin-like quality with this thing. It looks like it's just having a lot of fun being alive, and boy, I wish that was me. Depression joke. No, but seriously, it's a very fun design. It's very cute. It looks very happy to be here. In earlier generations, you wouldn't really see its face much, so it has more of a submarine-like quality, where you're kind of looking like its face that's yellow is more of like a window into the submarine, which makes sense because that's the only way you're going to be getting that deep into the ocean. I know it went back to the more fish-like quality that it had before, but I like Lantern. It's a pretty good Pokemon. Not as good as Chinchou, though. Pichu is probably going to be the only Pikachu clone that I have ever liked. In fact, I don't even like it that much. No, I don't even like it that much. No, I like it more than... yeah, that seems right. So, the thing about Pichu is that it has a lot going on for it. Like, it has the bigger head and smaller body that modern day Pikachu has, without the baggage of Pikachu, without the obligation to look a certain way for the audience. It just looks like what it is. Its design is actually a little bit more complicated than Pikachu, actually. And I'm guessing because it has to turn into Pikachu, they removed the belly patch from it. I would have liked if that stayed. I like its ear pattern. I like that it has a little bit more going on with its tail, with its chest. Those black highlights look very good on it, and I do appreciate that. I like its overall shape. Nothing about this thing really screams a baby Pikachu. Outside of the informed quality of it turns into Pikachu. Like, I don't see any proto-Pikachu features besides its tail having the darker base that will eventually turn into the iconic Pikachu Thunderbolt. But I like Pichu. It's very cute. I don't like all the baby Pokemon, but I like this one. Cleffa is a more deliberate star shape. I remember ranking Clefairy kind of neutrally, but I like how this one is a more deliberate star because it's a space Pokemon. That's very cute. It just looks like a creature that would turn into the slightly more complicated Clefairy. I like that it uses, I believe, a slightly bolder shade of pink and a sharper hair loop that makes me think of some faux futuristic stuff. It's pretty good. Igglybuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. So if we rated Igglybuff based on not having a tumor on its head, I'd probably put it in like C, I guess. But first off, it has this ridiculous looking like little knobby thing on its head that I honest to God I hate. It has a swirl on its head that I guess will eventually turn into the Jigglypuff swirl, but that implies that the growth at the top of its head, it's going to turn into ears and not the swirl, and I don't like that. Otherwise, this is kind of a I'm very remiss from calling any Pokemon lazy. I'm sure all of these things went through a lot of revision, but I'm just not into it. I don't know what to tell you, Chief. I don't know what to tell you. That said, I don't like anything about Togepi either, but I like that it has blue and red on its egg patterns. I don't like how this thing is supposed to turn into a bird, but there's nothing really... In fact, actually... Let's put them together. I think No, Togetic has to go much lower. No, ooh, get the fuck out of there. Holy shit, you're not even close to being as good as Cyndaquil. Don't you ever disrespect Cyndaquil like that again in your life. I know people are going to say that about me putting Cyndaquil in C, but at least I have some respect for Cyndaquil. I don't like it. I don't like either of them. I like the coloration. I like that Togetic is supposed to be an angel, but I don't think Pokemon handles abstract humanoid concepts like angels specifically well without a lot of extra help. And one that would have helped here was if it had some more bird-like qualities to it, but it doesn't. Maybe if Togepi had more of a beak. I appreciate that it's another star-shaped Pokemon. I like the pattern on its eggs. I like that Togetic is all white. That's okay, I guess. But I don't like this thing. I don't like its shape. I don't like its body being an egg shape. I don't see why. Like, I understand birds hatch from eggs, but it doesn't look bird-like enough for me. Like, what if chickens didn't have beaks? Yeah, wouldn't that be bad? That's how I feel about Togetic. Don't Google that. I'm sure something horrible will come up if you do. That involves, like, the meatpacking industry or some shit. This is just better Hoot. I have basically the same things to say about it. I like its bold color choice. I like its little feather. I like that it's a little head. I like how, when it comes out, it goes boop, boop. That's good. And it's just another Noctowl. It's just Noctowl, but I like its color choice, maybe a little bit less. I don't really have anything to say. Like, they both kind of register as green, Hoot and Noctowl to me. It seems very odd that two Pokemon that share very similar vibes of being, you know, very round, Johto lore-specific birds, which share the same sort of design space. But, well, that's Pokemon for you, I suppose. Maybe something slipped through the cracks. Maybe they had last changes at the last moments, not just design, but stat-wise, because they do kind of seem to have similar stats. Or maybe they're supposed to be two rival Pokemon, but that sort of got lost in the notes, so now I'm just kind of stuck seeing it myself. I'm really not sure, but they do come off as very eerily similar. I don't like to see Noctowl I love seeing Noctowl in flight, but I hate seeing Xatu in flight. It looks incorrect. It looks like a Pokemon that probably shouldn't really do much flying, despite it having wings. I don't like it when it's wings are spread, but when it's closed, it's very, very good. And I also like how Xatu seems to be Natu, but you know, it's the head. Mareep, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's an electric sheep Pokemon. New Android stream of electric sheep. That's a very cute concept to go with a Pokemon. You really didn't have to do anything else outside of that, so I'm basically already sold. I almost wish it had some more of robotic qualities to it to really sell that new Android stream of electric sheep thing. If we ever do get like a futuristic Pokemon, with like robots and like AI that can sort of command Pokemon, and we don't get a Mareep trainer, I'm going to be very irritated. I like Mareep, it's very cute, I like its shape. Again, I kind of like these just an animal Pokemon, and I'm a little bit more tolerant of that beige coloration for electric types than fire type, because it reads a little bit more easily as a yellow. I like its tail too. Flaffy, I really don't like Flaffy. I don't like it when Pokemon just decide to start standing up. They need to sit back down. I get it's supposed to be a shaven sheep, but I like it way less. I don't understand why its colors changed. It's no longer yellow, so I'm not really sure why it's an electric type. If you know, gun pointed to my head, I would probably say it was some type of fairy. I don't like it. The same thing. I'm not doing the megas today. Sorry. Maybe some other time. Right, Ampharos, I like a little bit more than Flaffy, because it does the proud of what it is thing, but it's supposed to be a giraffe? Because if so, that's not really making a whole lot of sense. It's supposed to be a lighthouse-themed Pokemon, but I think that's a little bit too abstract of a concept for this guy specifically. It might be because it's a little bit too short, especially because we already do have very tall and very large Pokemon, like Gyarados or Onix that can, you know, tower over things. So I don't feel super confident about, you know, associating this thing with lighthouses specifically. I'm not sure where all the hair is gone. I hear it's supposed to be a, like, you know, as it evolves, it gets more and more shaven. But I think that's supposed to be in service of a joke that I don't, you know, quite follow. Like, why does that make it stronger? I don't get it. Oh well. And its Japanese name is Dinryu. I don't know what dragons have to do with this. It has a Din, but not the Ryu. Okay. Bellossom. So I like that it has a red on it for a grass type. I like how it seems to be the day variant of Vileplume, so it has a more day-oriented color scheme, but still retains that red flower that Gloom and Vileplume seem to have, but recontextualized for something that seems to be a little bit more lively. I like how its leaves are a skirt. I don't like how it kind of looks like a little bit of a like Gumby, but in a dress, I guess. I like that this thing seems to be able to dance. It has like an oddish, it has the oddish face. That's very cute. I really like Blossom. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't have strong feelings about Meryl, but I don't hate it either. Good old Peekaboo. I don't have anything interesting to say about Meryl, so I'll tell you a little story. I first found out about Meryl, and as you do, in like the 3rd grade. And one of my friends was telling me about this legendary Peekaboo. Didn't call it a Pokemon god, but just hinted that there might be more Pokemon. And this is sometime mid-Generation 1. This is before Ash has gone off to the Orange Islands. In fact, it's probably several years before that, or not several years, but like several months before that, presumably. And and I'm being told about this Peekaboo fella, and me and that boy got into like a little fight over this Peekaboo thing, and I went home and sat there thinking, what if there were more Pokemon? I don't think that's going to be true. That's impossible, right? Like, they wouldn't say 150 like a billion times that they're going to make more. This is after I think Togepi is already here. So I don't really know why I was so reluctant to believe in Peekaboo. Probably because schoolyard children lie a lot, and I probably caught on to that fact early. Speaking of lies, I probably wouldn't believe you if you told me that Azurill was going to be such a metagame defining Pokemon once it got that fairy typing. I don't like this thing. It looks like an egg. Its ears turn into rabbit ears and not mouse ears. So I don't like that anti-parallel with Pikachu. While I know canonically Meryl has nothing to do with Pikachu, I do like that people did associate them together and saw some parallels because they're both, they both have that kind of ragged tail going on. They both have that early Generation 1 white patch on their bellies, although at that point Pikachu had already gotten rid of its. They basically have an identical face, and they're both mice Pokemon. And, you know, they're kind of two stages, with the second stage being way less popular than the first. So I really like that parallel that these two have. I don't like that it's an egg. The face is fine, everything else is way worse. I hate everything about it. I don't know why they're both called the Polka Dot Pokemon, or the Water Ball Pokemon. Fuck Azurill. I don't like it. I don't like its Easter egg shaped looking body. I don't like its shiny as yellow. I don't even like that its tail is now on the ground, so it's no longer like a bobber. Sudowoodo. The way I hate Azurill, the way I love my boy Sudowoodo. One of my best friend actually cosplayed as Sudowoodo one time a few years ago, so I have a positive bias for that, similar to Parasect and Butterfree. I like that it's not actually a tree, as the name implies. I love this thing is made of stone. It has a very silly face. It goes Sudowoodo, Sudowoodo, Sudowoodo. That's very cute. Just has like a very wiggly nature, yet also doesn't move either. In fact, its game animations, it's mostly perfectly still. It's very fun. Little side quest to get it. It's also fun. Instead of like just a tree you cut down, a Pokemon is actively blocking your path, but it's a little bit more low-key and benign than Snorlax. Something about this guy I just like. It just seems like a very not powerful, but very reliable, yet very, very silly Pokemon. I love that stance that it's doing. Like, why does Sudowoodo want to pretend to be a tree? Is it so it's not bothered? Because this thing does seem to be strong enough to not really need to worry about that too much, right? But I like Sudowoodo. I like its shape. I like its sort of isms. It's a weird Pokemon that I've just sort of grown to love over time. Politoed ruins the joke of Poliwag, or Poliwrath, rather. So it evolves with the King's Rock, but I don't understand why this couldn't be some type of kiss-related thing, like the frog prince that, you know, the frog that turns into a prince. I kind of wish it had some more kingly qualities to it, or prince-like qualities, since it evolves with the King's Rock, so it could be like the frog that, well, turns into a prince, but the prince is still, you know, a frog. That would have been funny. That would have kept like some type of joke running, but no, it just kind of ruins the idea of an adult tadpole, and I'm not really thrilled about that. I don't like how it breaks the color scheme of Poliwag and company. It's okay that it still has a swirl going on. I guess that part is okay, but I don't know. I don't really like this one very much. It does have a little swirl on its head, and it does croak. I guess that's why it has Sing, but I don't know. I just don't like this one as much as the Poly family. It just seems way less inspired. There's a lot of cool shit they could have did with it, and they just made a frog. It has some charm in its cuteness. I'll give it that. But I just think it's way less cool than Poliwhirl. Hoppip is an S. It's very cute. It has cat ears that generation Pokemon are required to have. It looks just so goddamn happy all the time. It's just floating around. It uses two little cotton weeds on the top of its head to propel itself. That's really good. What a little carefree guy. Wish I was having as much fun as Hoppip. In reality, I'm probably having about as much fun as Skiploom, who's still, chugging along, flying around, doing his thing. Definitely less fun than Hoppip. I like its big floppy dog ears. That's very good. I don't really know why it has big floppy dog ears. Probably because they weren't really sure what else to do with it. And I like Jumpluff. So I like Jumpluff's design less so than Skiploom. But I like its coloration enough to where it looks like a distant relative to the Oddish family. And I really do like Pokemon that kind of look like they share like a common ancestor at some point. So that's pretty cool. I prefer to think of the two things on the side of it more so as well, I don't really know, like ears. Well, the point is, I don't want to think of them like hands. If I think of them like hands, I'm going to hate this thing a lot more. I don't want to. So 3 very carefree Pokemon that are just sort of floating around. That just sort of exist. A lot of these Generation 2 Pokemon are way less bombastic and honestly way less interesting than their Gen 1 counterparts. But I do like how they're just kind of, just kind of chilling out and just sort of exist. That's sort of what Johto's all about. Apom was one that took a long time to grow on me, but eventually it sort of did. Monkey. Cute monkey face. I like that it's purple, like Rattata. I like that it lives in trees exclusively. It looks like a little mischievous guy right out of Ape Escape. I like that it doesn't have fingers. I like its little Steven Universe Cal art style looking face and teeth. I like how absolutely horrifying it looks in Detective Pikachu. The only part I don't like about Apom is that its evolution is definitely got to be one of the worst Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. And that its testicular palm is just hideous. It looks gross. I really wish it looked more like a hand, so it could like give a little thumbs up or like a peace sign, but it just looks gross and I hate it. But I do like that it's mobile, primarily by its tail. That's pretty good. Sunkern is a Pokemon that I dunk on a lot. I use it as a butt of a joke. Like whenever Nintendo cuts a couple of Pokemon, the thing I say is like, come on, half these Pokemon you wouldn't even notice. Who the fuck cares about Sunkern? Speak up if your favorite Pokemon is Sunkern. How many of you are there? There has to be literally none of you, right? It might be me. Like, I might actually be Sunkern's biggest fan. I'm not gonna lie. Just doing a little bit of maintenance. Yep, I might be, probably Sunkern's biggest fan. I like its coloration, I like its eyes, I don't like its sort of grandpa face. It doesn't really use its, leaves to fly, but I do like that it looks like it might be able to. It's okay, it's cute. I like the colors on it, it's a simple Pokemon. But has a lot going on, I think. Sunflora, I like a little bit more than Pichu. What the fuck are Galarian? Why are these new forms sneaking in here? I'm not talking about them today. Jeez. So once again, I'm probably the biggest Sunflora fan on Earth, yet can't be bothered to put an A or S. Sunflora's okay. It's a Pokemon that's bigger than you think it is. I like that. I like that it looks so goddamn happy. A lot of these Generation 2 Pokemon just sort of exist like animals, just kind of around and not necessarily meant to be like giant kaijus or anything. They're just kind of chilling out. This is where Pokemon sort of use its 100 new Pokemon, not to be a soft reboot of itself, but to bolster the Pokemon it already has. And it didn't really have that many Pokemon that are just sort of chilling out, but weren't really that weird. I don't like how Sunflora has toes. I don't like how it has a little bit of a belly. I think those have been slowly more pronounced as time goes by. I like the two lines on its face from being a Sunkern. That's pretty fun. I might be the second biggest fan, the first being like probably Hidenori Kusaka, who deliberately put Sunkern in the Pokemon Adventure manga. Sunkern's one and only notable appearance. Yanma. Yanma's cute. I like its coloration. It looks like a Caterpie in the air. And I, once again, like Pokemon that look like they have a shared common ancestor evolutionarily. Because it and Caterpie kind of look like they do. So, there we go. Yanma's very cute. I like that it turns into Yanmega, too. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time for that boy, the king of kings, the number one boy. He's finally here. Wooper is the chosen one. I don't even know why they kept making Pokemon after Wooper. Look at this thing, this absolute unit. Look at its little cute little face, its little dopey body. It goes whoop, pa, whoop, pa. If that's not the funnest Pokemon name to say, then I don't know what is. And if you disagree, then you fucking hate fun. It has little antennas on its head. It has the Wi-Fi symbol. It has everything you want out of a Pokemon. It has cute little dead eyes, a big old tail, and it turns into this big old silly guy, Quagsire, who I am putting it in S only because we can't have two chosen ones. And Quagsire's a little cute too. Quagsire, its Japanese name is Numao, like Swamp King, or Quagsire. Very good translation. Very beautiful coloration on both of these dumb idiots. They look like buffoons, but they're actually incredibly good Pokemon. I know I wasn't going to let gameplay stuff get in the way too much, but they are incredibly reliable. Water Ground is one of the best typings in the game. While they're sat there a little bit middling, I love everything about them. I love their beady little eyes. I love how stoned out they are. It's like Slowpoke, but just strictly better. And Slowpoke was already no slouch. So these two, the absolute units, some of the best guys in Johto, bar none. Wooper, one of the best Pokemon fucking period. Whew. Put some energy in that one. How many more do I have? Damn, a lot. Jeez, okay, I gotta start getting faster because I don't have that much to say about all of them. Espeon is a Pokemon that the older I get, the less I like it because people tend to like Espeon a lot. So the Kinshuri in my blood wants to not like it as much. That and it, I don't know. The jewel on its head is cool. The two things on its tail is also cool. It has two little whiskers, a very fox-like nature. It looks very mysterious. That's pretty cool. I'm not really sure why I don't like it, though. I think it's because everyone else likes it, and it's another Pokemon that probably deserves to be an S, but I'm kind of just putting it in B. No. That seems right. It probably deserves to be an S, but I'm putting it in B. Same is basically true of Umbreon. I like it a lot more. I'm willing to concede to liking Umbreon a little bit more. In fact, for a long time, Umbreon, Alligator, and Noctowl were my 3 favorite Johto Pokemon. And no playthrough of Johto were complete without those 3. And I will, admit those are the 3 that I have the most nostalgic love for. But they're just really good. They're just some top tier Pokemon. Well, not literal top tier, but just some high quality mons. The only ones that go above it have to be especially standout. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that seems okay. Actually... yep. It seems pretty good, I don't like as many... I don't like all the SpaghettiOs all over Umbreon. But it's just cool. It's a black fox that lives in the shadows. It's pretty fun. I like that the black and gold in it make a kind of Egyptian theme, even though it's totally incidental. That's pretty dope, and I do appreciate that. Murkrow, there can't be 2 chosen ones, unfortunately. This thing is incredibly cute. It looks very, very fun, very mischievous. It has a witch's hat. It has a big crooked nose for a bill. It has a broom for a, its down feathers, or it's whatever you call the back part of a bird. Its tail feathers. It has a very deliberate looking design. Its stats are actually a lot better than you think it is, and that makes me like it more, so that means I don't have to evolve it into a Honchkrow if I don't have to, which is a shame, because Honchkrow is also very good, but just not as good as Murkrow. This thing is just a very standout design, and it's probably one of the Pokemon that really benefited from getting an evolution later, because its first form can be seen as just a very good first design for a Pokemon that doesn't look like it needs to be babied up. Or, raised up from a baby, rather. Slowking is funny as a joke. I like Slowking. That's a funny joke that if the Shelter bites its head, this psychic Pokemon just learns how to use its brain more powerfully. It's kind of a shame that its stats are, I think, a little worse than Slowbro, actually. I like the jewel on its head. I like the sort of mane thing it has, but it looks kind of like a clown. I like that it has a crown on and a shell. Yeah, I like Slowking. I like that it talks. I don't like how the first Black Republican to run for president of the United States had a quote from Slowking, though. That's really stopping it from going in the high S. Mischievous is another very good Pokemon. Right about there. I want to put it in S, but if most people asked you what is Mischievous based on, they would probably just say a spooky ghost. But the actual answer is Mischievous is based on I think a Filipino spirit. I forget what it's called, but they're like witches that are just soaked in vinegar and meditate for so long that they're able to sort of detach their head from their body, pulling out all their entrails along with it. And if one of them touches you, you will be cursed with thirst and dehydration and sickness that will last until you see a witch doctor that can cure you. So that's your interesting note about Mischievous. I like that it has a pearl necklace. This explains why it turns into Miss Magus, or Magius, later on. Like why a normal ghost seems to randomly pick up a more witchy vibe. But there you go. Unknown is a Pokemon that I want to like more. Much like Charizard, where you're sold on the idea of Charizard, I personally am not, but I am sold on the idea of Unknown, where there's something ancient and mysterious about this Pokemon, but there's nothing sinister or conspiracy-like with the Pokemon itself, but the fact that it still seems to be haunting or associated with these areas of great mystery, right? Like, there's something about Unknown that feels like it's an enabler of more complicated and powerful forces, which I'm probably getting that idea from the third Pokemon movie, Spell of the Unknown. I think that's what it's called, right? Spell of the Unknown. I don't think it had a subtitle when I saw it. I think it was just called Pokemon the Movie 3. Yeah, Unknown. It's a very mysterious Pokemon. I like how it only learns one move. It only appears in one space. It has a very particular vibe to it. A lot of unknowns about Unknown, I might say. And I love that mystery to it. And I love that whatever the answer is going to be is probably not going to be all that interesting, because Unknown itself is not an especially interesting Pokemon. And that's okay. That's something that I think is actually quite good. There's nothing ancient and powerful about Unknown itself, but, just the kind of vibe it has. Wobbuffet. I think Wobbuffet's okay. I don't have super strong feelings about Wobbuffet. It's funny. It's funny that's sort of a boxing dummy Pokemon. I like that the real one seems to be the tail. That's pretty good. And that's why it has so high HP, because that front part can just really take a beating. I like that it only counterattacks. That's pretty good. I kind of wish those counterattacks were contextualized in signature moves that only Wobbuffet had, so the words connecting that this thing is supposed to bop back at you is a little bit more clear, instead of arbitrarily learning Mirror Coat. I can't really see this creature using a Mirror Coat, but I can see it kind of taking a blast, like whoop, leaning back, and then just boom, just throwing it right back at you. You know what I mean? So it's okay. Speaking of okay, so Girafarig is a Pokemon. There's two things in it that would make it an A. One, if the Pokemon itself was a palindrome, so if it had a giraffe on the butt too. And two, if this thing were taller, because it's a giraffe, but it's short. If there's one thing giraffes are not known for, it's being short. And it's not like this Pokemon is like a miniature horse or anything like that, where it's like, haha, oh, it's funny, it's a giraffe, but it's like this big. No, it's like, 4 or 5 feet tall or something like that. So, I don't know, it feels like they got really close. I know the beta designs for Girafarig actually did have that quality to it. But thank God it didn't evolve from like a split ghost Pokemon. That wouldn't have made any sense, and I think Game Freak caught on to that. Pineco. So I like these Pokemon once again with a sort of mysterious abyss in them, and I think Generation 2 is the last we're going to see of them, actually. I like that this thing is a hand grenade, but also a pine cone, and I like that it's green, again, like a hand grenade that blows up. It's just a very fun and interesting concept. Looks very mysterious. The same is sort of true for Cloister. I'll put it about the same spot. I think this one at some point would have been S for me, but I think Ferrothorn might have did what I like about Fortress a little bit better. I do like its color palette. I do like how it has a mysterious core that guys like Tentacruel has, like I was saying before. It's a Steel-type Pokemon, but its steelness feels a little haphazard. Like, it almost feels like, I'm not sure what part is supposed to be metal, like this outside red part. That doesn't quite make sense, but I can reasonably stretch my mind to say that maybe the outside part is melted metal from all that exploding that it's been doing. So it's just so good at exploding that its outside is just sort of a melted shell of, or like pieces of scrap metal. Dunsparce is, I'm putting in D because I No. That can't be. So there's something a little bit charming about Dunsparce. A lot of people want it to evolve, but I think the whole thing about a Tsuchinoko is that it doesn't have powers or anything like that. It's just, you just happen to be very lucky if you find it. And I think the reason I don't like this Pokemon, and it just sort of feels off to me, is that this feels like a Pokemon that really should not have any combat abilities whatsoever, but does something outside of combat. And even if I mean that in like a cool sense of like the anime, I think I'd like it more if this Pokemon had some type of supernatural ability to make you more lucky or something like that. I think I'd like this thing a lot more. Not necessarily like an enhanced version of the pickup ability, but just, I'm gonna open a soda. Hope that didn't come up too loud on the mic. Oh, it looks like it did. Sorry. So, I think if this had a inherently lucky ability, like this was the luck Pokemon, I'd like it more, but it's just a Tsuchinoko that just sort of exists in Pokemon. And there are other, semi-mythical creatures in Pokemon that exist that do something outside of just exist. Like how Ursaring is sort of maybe like a Bigfoot Pokemon, you know what I mean? But I guess it's okay for these kind of rural areas to just sort of have their own urban legends that don't really mean a lot. But I think Wobbuffet actually might fit that a little bit better, because it does seem to have some unique powers and properties, and seems to be equally as rare. So, I don't know. This thing is Tsuchinoko real, but not necessarily real good. Gligar. I don't like its tongue. I don't like its tongue. It looks like a worse Zubat. I'm not really super fond of that. See, I'm gonna break the illusion for a second. And just sorry. There. Are we okay? Are y'all okay? See, you thought I was just playing that music in the background. No, that's a tab. That was playing in another tab. Steelix. I actually don't like it as much as Onix, weirdly, but I do like it nonetheless. In fact, I think something about Steelix may actually look a little bit too cool, which stops me from putting it higher. But I do like Steelix. It's a big old rock snake, but this time it's made of metal. It has, like, protrusions on some of its, stones, I guess, or steel blocks. Its jaw looks big and gnarly. I like that. It looks way more intimidating than Onix. I think it's trying a little too hard to look more intimidating than Onix, because Onix was already quite intimidating looking. In fact, it kind of feels a little bit more like a soft reboot of Onix, which, that's probably what Steelix is. They probably realized, Pokemon cares about the continuity of its Pokemon stats, but they probably goofed up with Onix to giving it such a low attack power, right? Like, odds are it was probably meant to be a much more powerful Pokemon for a long time, but, maybe players were having a hard time with Brock, and they didn't really want to change Brock from being a Rock-type gym leader to something else, so... they kind of had to hit restart on old Onix there. And that's what Steelix come across as to me. But it feels a little too complex. I kind of like Onix a little bit more. But I appreciate it for what it is, and that's why it's an S. Snubble, any Pokemon I have to ask what this thing is. The same thing is kind of true for Gligar, actually. I think that's an automatic D more often than not if I look at it and I'm not really sure what it is. In fact, I think I might even be letting Ampharos off lucky, because I didn't know it was supposed to be a sheep of any sort. Got a lot of Pokemon to go, but not a crazy amount. I wasn't really sure what Snubble was. I couldn't tell it was supposed to be a dog. I don't know why it has that blue and red color scheme. I think I would like a little bit more if it was a smaller, for quadruped Pokemon. I think I sort of understood what Gramble was. It's supposed to be like a pit bull. The older I get, the more I do appreciate it, and that's why it's not in D tier. It has big old jaws, but I don't like that the teeth, its underfangs are sort of flesh-colored. But it does look like a big old angry dog, but I think there's just so many dog Pokemon that this one kind of falls by the wayside and makes me just forget that it's there. Quillfish is unique in that it's a quilled fish. Actually, top of B. Something about Quillfish looks incomplete. I think it's a Pokemon that should have fins. Or some more bomb-like qualities, or like a needle bomb-like quality, like something that explodes into a flurry of shrapnel. But it doesn't have that. Like, similar to, like, I don't know what they're called, like a marine mine. Similar to, like, maybe a fortress, possibly. Yeah, something about this thing looks a little underbaked, and I really can't put my finger on what. Maybe it's a color choice. I don't really know, but I just don't like this guy. Weirdly, it's not the lips this time. Usually big lip Pokemon. I'm never too thrilled about that. See Jinx. But I don't know. I just don't really care much for Quillfish. But I don't really hate it either. Why'd I put it in B? I think I would put it right about... right about there, actually. Caesar. Huh. Not really sure. So if you couldn't already tell, I'm very much biased in favor of Generation 2. In fact, all these Pokemon down here, it says they're in D. Again, this is probably really more like a C tier. I wouldn't even really, like, by modern Pokemon standards, I wouldn't even put these in, like, C-, honestly. Scizor. I really don't know what to do with Scizor. I don't know how to think about it. I don't know what to feel about Scizor. That feels about right. When in doubt, just start looking at Pokemon in a given tier and ask, do you like Scizor more than this thing? And I think I also put Scyther in B tier, at like the top of B tier as well. Scizor is another Pokemon that has some sort of Tokusatsu-like vibes to it with its sort of red armor. I like that it, because of that red, it has more ant-like qualities that Scyther didn't have. I don't know if I like the clamps, but I don't hate the clamps either. It feels very much like another Tokusatsu Pokemon, like Ladian, but for some reason, I feel like Ladian actually nails it a little bit better. And I think it's because it has a more deliberate, Common Rider, like, helmet going on that Scizor does not have. But I do like Scizor well enough, though. I think it's just another Pokemon where, its broader, cool perception makes me like it a lot less than I honestly should. And I think this is another Pokemon that probably deserves to go in S, but I'm just not putting it there arbitrarily. Oh, and if you're wondering, the same is absolutely not true of Lucario. That's a true F. A true F, just so we're clear. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to the river. Can't fuck with the Shuck. Shuckle is cute. It's a very silly guy. It has like a knobby little head going on. Its shell, it could, its appendages could come out of anywhere in that. Has a sort of wormy-like nature to it. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. Maybe like a fungus, but I'm really not sure. I like that it seems like a Pokemon that you could kick around like a football and it'd be, wouldn't really care that much. Kind of like an ultra dense turtle shell. I like that Shuckle ferments juice inside of it, and that juice can further solidify into a rare candy. That's a quality that this Pokemon just seems to have for some reason. And again, I really wish that Dunsparce had that too. Oh well. Well, not that quality specifically, but like some. I don't think I know that Generation 2 didn't really have like abilities, but I'm pretty sure that giving Shuckle a berry still made berry juice. Now it's annoying that berry juice is no more useful than a regular potion. But it's still really cool. And I guess on a Pokemon like Shuckle, 20 HP really makes a huge difference, right? Heracross. I like Heracross well now. I'm not gonna let the hype stop me on Heracross. In this house, we stand for the pride flag and kneel for the cross. Heracross, of course, or the Animal Cross, whichever one's fine. It's pretty good. I like it. Looks like a big old strong Pokemon. I wish it evolved from something. I like its color choice, but I don't think it really comes across as a fighting type much. But that might just be a cultural difference where perhaps any big enough bug is a fighting bug in a Japanese culture, because children make bugs fight. It's kind of weird we didn't get Heracross in Generation 1. I feel like it is a Pokemon that we almost got in Generation 1 maybe. It's like a late game fighting type or something. Like maybe like a rival to Pinsir, right? Sneasel. I don't really know what to do with Sneasel. Yeah, it's fine. I like Sneasel well enough. I think it's because I like Weavile quite a bit more. It looks a little too edgy to me. It's supposed to be a Kamatachi, I believe. That's why it's so fast. That's why it's a dark type, I think. It cuts you when you're not looking. But I don't believe this thing learns Razor Wind, though. It's kind of a shame that they didn't really do much to give these Pokemon like fun signature moves, like Sneasel having like an extreme speed move, where it hurts you before you even notice. That's why it goes first. Has a gem on its head. It has several flowers on it, or several feathers. Those mysterious objects, those rare candies I ate, must have really started kicking in. Only like an hour and a half into this. I recorded like 15 minutes of it earlier and realized I didn't like the way that tier list looked. It's just these images but cropped in and zoomed in. Teddy Ursa's very cute. Possibly one of my favorite cute Pokemon in Pokemon in general. There's no particular quality about it that sticks out to me, but I just like its proportions. I like that kind of big head, little tiny arms proportions it has going on. It still has that Pokemon very realistic animal face thing. And it has a moon on its head, and I'm probably reading a little bit too much into that head moon thing going on. It doesn't really have lunar powers, but I prefer to think that it does. That's why I also rank Ursaring pretty high too. It kind of gives me a Bigfoot vibes, in a place where a lot of these creatures just sort of exist. And I'm okay with a big mama bear, like Yeti-like figure, and a small baby bear that just eats honey all day. Just sort of exist, but seem to have some type of, incredibly arbitrary, not super on the nose affinity for moonlight. Kind of wish they had more going on in that regard, but it is what it is, and I just really do like these two Pokemon. They're just very solid Pokemon that are very minimalistic, I think that's the word I'll use for them. Very minimalistic. They have just enough going on to make me think about it, but not enough to aggravate me about it. Although some people do have that issue with Ursaring, but I think I kind of already knew that, like, Ursus Major, like a constellation. Teddy Ursa has a moon on its head. Another space-themed Pokemon. I tend to like all the space-themed Pokemon. Well, you know, actually, I'm not going to put Ursaring that high up. Okay, Magcargo's pretty good. I like Magcargo. Thing's cute. It's slimy. And lava is probably as thick and slimy as a slug would be. I like that its eyebrows are like on fire. That's pretty good. It has a goopy mouth. Yet it's always boiling. Like, it's just a sludge, lava sludge, and that's actually pretty cool. I really like really like this guy for Slugman for that. Magcargo, I like quite a bit less. I think it's because of the flaming eyebrows. I really, with all my heart, I want to like Magcargo. I really want to like Magcargo, but or rather, I want to like Magcargo and I put it in S. But I think the thing that makes me like it less than Slugma is it doesn't have the big flaming eyebrows. I do like that the shell is it's just maybe possibly even a hardened Slugma. Like, once its top kind of cools down, it turns into a big rock that it can retreat into. It looks dopey for sure. It doesn't have that proud to be what it is vibe that I want all fully evolved Pokemon to have, but I think that Slugma and Magcargo are two Pokemon that should. Like, you grew a big old back, you're hotter and more burning bright than ever, you're hot-blooded, you're ready to go, you're ready to roll up into that shell and just roll out of there, leaving a trail of boiling magma in your wake. I like that this thing is just made of magma. That's just very good. It's just boiling hot. Some real hot stuff. What can I say? This is cute. This thing's cute. I'm a little biased. I'll explain my bias. So one of my favorite ROM hacks of any Pokemon game is probably Crystal Clear. It really flips Pokemon Crystal on its head and pushes the Game Boy Color to like its absolute limits. A truly inspired hack of Pokemon Crystal, turning it into basically a whole new game that still more or less plays by the same rules of Pokemon Crystal. Like, the battling hasn't really changed much, but everything else feels like the very, very definitive version of what Pokemon Crystal should be, or what really any Pokemon game should be, while still feeling very much in the spirit of Pokemon. That said, there is a artist OC named Shockslayer who puts a lot of emphasis on Swinub throughout the game, and that, as much as I want to respect that adds a little bit of cringe to it, because artist OCs, I respect it, I respect what they do, but it just automatically makes me cringe, right? So, see. Piloswine, I don't like Piloswine at all. Ugh. Looks like a big gross lump. I don't like it. A big gross pig lump. I get it's supposed to be a warthog, but I think maybe if it had more legs like a Donphan. In fact, Donphan just seems like the cooler version of this Pokemon, honestly. I kind of wish they just put them both together. Oh, I'm not doing new forms today. Corsola is okay. Yep. Corsola, no, I don't even like Corsola that much. Well, you know, I think I do. There's something about Corsola that I like. I like that it has 6 little legs. 2 of them are like little arms that it uses when it could have just gotten away with being a 4-legged Pokemon that just kind of runs around on its 4 little coral legs. I like that there seems to be a Corsola metagame where people were making the best strategies with Corsola. Look up the Corsola Cup, that's really funny. I like that it can turn into Cursola. That's pretty good. I really appreciate that. It's another one of these blank face Pokemon that I tend to find very cute. I don't know how I feel about the coloration. I think pink is iconic to Corsola, but I wish it was another color. But I guess sometimes coral does come in pink, so it's okay. Remoraid and Octillery. This is me being favorable. So, their initial designs where Remoraid looks like a gun and Octillery looks a little bit more like a tank, are easy A tier for sure, 100%. But without that, they just look like two Pokemon that just sort of evolve into each other for no particular reason. And this is a good example of Pokemon that I look at and I'm not really sure what they are supposed to be. I get now that Remoraid's supposed to be a gun, and Octillery will be a tank, but it just looks like a cartoon fish and a cartoon octopus, and the elements of that still do stick around, like the way Remoraid's fins are just a little bit longer. It has a fin on its chest that does sort of kind of maybe look like it could be a trigger, and the back fin could be like a handle, and like the its front horn thing could be like whatever you call the front bit of a gun, the aiming part. But it's a little bit too subtle. The same is true for Octillery's lines around its eye that initially were some type of helmet. That's a little too subtle, and I'm not really sure I like it. I think sometimes Pokemon tries to get a little too smart about not being too on the nose with its designs, but sometimes that really just drives home what a Pokemon is supposed to be. And I take this from Magic the Gathering that has tons and tons of cards that are supposed to be the Magic the Gathering version of this historical or mythical figure, but they get a little bit too far away from what it was supposed to be, so it just doesn't look right. Like I know they had a Greek theme set before, and they're about to put in a Trojan horse, but named it from Trojan to like Thespian or something like that. Whatever their version of Troy was, but they got ready to call it the whatever lion instead of horse, and no one understood what the reference was supposed to be, because we know the thing is being a horse, not a lion, right? So even if on the developer's end it makes perfect sense to do that, on the consumer end it's not as clear, and I think that's what Remoraid and Octillery are sort of, victims of. Changing something to try to be a little original, but you kind of got a little too smart with it, and now you're a little too original, so we don't know what it's supposed to be. Delibird and Delibird, my friend, Adam Eve on Twitter, who I know in real life, pointed out that this thing is supposed to be called Delibird and not Delibird. I don't know how to feel about that, but I do know how to feel about this Pokemon. D. That seems correct. So this is supposed to be a Santa Claus Pokemon, or maybe like looking at its beard, possibly even a Krampus-like Pokemon, maybe a penguin. But I think this is a Pokemon that has a little bit too much going on and tries to get a little too much stuff in one go, so I think it just turns out pretty bad, and maybe it would make a little bit more sense if this turned into like more of a fat penguin Pokemon that was still red, so it really drives home that it's Santa. But now I just see, okay, a kind of sack-like Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon have sacks. In a lot of its initial artwork, the bag wasn't super clear if it was supposed to be a tail or not. Its face thing, like, okay, so it has the beard, but it has the eyes, like, it has the shit on its face, too, and a lot of Pokemon kind of have a lot of stuff going on in their face, so it's just never really clear what this thing is supposed to be, and I should, again, say it with me, if I don't know what the Pokemon is when I look at it, I don't know what it is. And I guess sometimes the names help guide that, but it didn't here, because I was calling it Delivered. I like Mantike, or Mantine, rather. Interesting how, Gold in the manga has, both of these two guys. It's okay. It's okay. I think I should possibly even, like, kind of split A tier up into, I like it and I love it. Wait, no, this thing, I don't think this thing's getting higher than Scizor, actually. I like it. I don't know why it has such a high special defense stat. I like that it's a kite. That's pretty good. It's a kite, that's fun. It flies. As a child, I thought that was very novel. I guess manta rays look like, creatures that, you know, do kind of have wings and might have some flying qualities, but just kind of don't. But in this fantasy world, yes, they do. Since it can fly, it has a little Remoraid underneath it, but because Remoraid's design was sort of changed, it's not really clear that this is, like, artillery on it, so that's unfortunate. So it just looks like it just has arbitrarily little Remoraids just sucking onto it for no reason. As a millennial, this thing does not have a stinger, so raids without stingers, okay by me. That's how I know you're not going to sting Ash Ketchum. That's good. Pour one out for my boy Steve Irwin. Okay, a Pokemon that I would appreciate if it was 50 feet tall. Skarmory is pretty good. I don't know how I feel about the little red underneath its other, you know, sword wings, I guess. Its head is a little bit weird. The more I think about this Pokemon, the less I like it, or the more I see stuff that I don't like. I think this is a Pokemon where its overall package seems to fare a lot better than the individual parts of it. In fact, you know what, actually... yeah, that seems better. Feels about... I like Skarmory about as much as Charizard. I like it well enough. I don't hate it. There are elements of it that I don't like. But I do like its overall shape. I think it's an okay Pokemon. I totally respect it. Houndour is a dog. It's pretty cool. It's a hot dog, even. And Houndoom, about the same. I think I basically see about the same Pokemon here, I'm not gonna lie. I like how both of them have, like, skull heads, but interpreted in very different ways. Houndour has the skull face. Houndoom has a more devilish, Beelzebub-like horns to it going on. That's pretty good. These are bad dogs, and I guess all dogs don't go to heaven. This looks like a very devilish dog, and I think it basically succeeds in trying to be that. In fact, actually, I'm going to put these two actually a little higher. No, even higher. Higher, goddammit. Yeah, that seems about right. I like how, so instead of using beige like they could have, instead they're using a little bit more of a red that seems to be like neighboring with beige. What a refreshing breath of fresh air from all of these dog and fox Pokemon and stuff that just keep relying on hoping that this beige color will communicate fire, but instead they do the opposite and say, This Pokemon is red because it's fire. It's a hell Pokemon, but the red of it is a light enough shade to where maybe that could be a realistic shade of hair. Maybe. So I love that they're doing their reverse instead of saying, here's a realistic shade of hair that maybe could be fire themed. I don't know. So that's pretty dope. I love Houndour a lot. This is probably my favorite Generation 2 Pokemon to use, honestly, because it's just really fast and fires off flamethrowers, but that's neither here nor there. It's a bad dog. Oh, and it does have a stinger. That's how you know it's a bad dog. So, Kingdra. Kingdra's pretty good. I like Kingdra. It has some kingly qualities to it. Yeah, I do like how it has some certain kingly qualities to it. It just looks very regal, very smooth. Admittedly, I don't like it as much as Seadra, but it does look older. It does look more dragon-like, but I don't think it looks dragon-like enough. It looks more mangled than anything. It has a gun-like face, but has a very sincere-looking, sincere and regal-looking eyes. So I'm very much into that. And also a little bit more realistic. It looks like it's supposed to sort of try to blend into coral and seaweed and stuff that Seadra just couldn't, and looked a little bit more edgy. Fampi. So I don't like that Fampi and Donphan are both small. I'm not really thrilled about that. I can't really tell what element Fampi is supposed to be, but I sort of can for Donphan, I guess. Fampi is cute. I don't like when there are large Pokemon that are, or small Pokemon that are based on a very large animal. So I'm really not thrilled about that, but I do like that Donphan rolls up in a ball. I like that it has little tusks. I love that it seems to be very much armored and very much based on a car wheel combined with an elephant. But outside of needing to have the ability to like kind of roll up and needing to roll up its face too, I don't think there's much reason for why this thing's an elephant. I love that its ears sort of become elfish. That's another interpretation of big ears. Fampi is another very simplistic Pokemon, but I'm not sure if I'm convinced on its shape, but I basically like it well enough. Porygon 2, you think I'm probably going to put it in S. No, I'm just putting it in A. I like Porygon 2. It's another very simple design. It took Porygon and just tuned it up. Everything you like about Porygon, but more. Except for I kind of like that Porygon was a creature of the early 90s, and Porygon 2 is a creature of the later 90s, where actual curves were something that computers could do. And I understand the reference. It makes perfect sense. We just had more technology to curve it out. I love that joke, but I just don't like it as much as Porygon 1. And it's just because I just like the Vaporwave too much. I like the 90s aesthetics too much, as opposed to the early aughts aesthetic. And that's not Porygon 2's fault. Porygon 2 is still a great Pokemon. In fact, actually, what am I doing putting it below Meganium? I was going to ask my high, but the answer is maybe. The answer is maybe. Hope all you are adults watching this. I'm not putting this for kids. Because it's not, obviously. Stantler is a bad Pokemon. Okay, so I don't like Stantler. I don't like its hideous face. If you took Stantler and replaced its head with any other, like, normal reindeer Pokemon head, I'd be okay with that, or, like, any other deer Pokemon. And it'd be, like, you know, solid B, I guess, but that hideous face, right? That hideous face is awful. Looks like an ass. Disgusting. I hate this thing so much. So the joke behind Stantler is there's a thing in Japan called a shishi odori. At least I think that's what they're called. And they're supposed to scare deer. There's a thing in anime that go dink, dink. You put them next to like a garden or something, and the water will kind of flow into the shishi odori, and occasionally when it gets full enough with water, it will tilt over and like the water will spill into the pool below and make a loud dink noise, but it doesn't do it super often. It does it every couple of seconds or once every minute or so, and that's in an effort to scare off deer, because Japan is mostly a country that does not have wolves, and wolves would have been the natural predator of deer. So Japan had no small like apex predator on land that would eat deer, so the deer population just skyrocketed. So Japan just has a bunch of really, really bold deer, especially near Nara Park, that just kind of roll up on you, and they can't really be spooked super easily because they're not like afraid of people. And the Shishiodori, or I think Stantler's name may be the opposite of that, like Odori Shishi or something like that. Let me double check actually. The joke behind that is basically normally deer scared of you, but in the home country, deer scare you. I don't know. I'm looking up the name now. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Stantler is Odoshishi, so it's just a rearrangement of Shishiodori. Right. So its two antlers are supposed to be intimidating, like it's supposed to be scaring you. And the translator for Pokemon at the time, Doug Ogasawara, or Nob Ogasawara, I believe his name is. He was the person who translated all the text in Pokemon, but none of the keywords or the names or anything of that nature. And he pitched to Nintendo calling that Pokemon Scaraboo, which I think is a way better name that communicates what Stantler is supposed to be. Because I didn't get the pun of startle and antler. But I would have gotten the name of Scaraboo, like caribou, but scary. But Nintendo didn't like it, and they told him to shut the fuck up. And later would fire him for being too fucking cool, and too good at his job. Although he does sometimes have some kind of boomer takes on Twitter, but okay, I guess. He's not a Nazi, so I'll take what I can get. Right. Not like the racist stuff, but like in regards to like labor rights, don't worry. Right. Smeargle. It's okay. Smeargle's alright. Smear and Beagle. It's a good pun. I wish this Pokemon had different colors of paint. It's always green. Sometimes it's red, I think. I don't like that it's a standing up Pokemon, but maybe much like the legendary Swordsman of Generation 5, I might not have understood what it was supposed to be unless if it was standing up, because I certainly didn't for them. So I guess I'm going to try not to knock too much from Smeargle for that. It's okay. I think it's cute. I love a Pokemon that can sketch anything that it sees, and its sketch copies attacks, which makes, close enough sense, although I think Mimic might have been a little bit better, but maybe Sudowoodo's Mimic and Smeargle's Mimic might be a little too different. But using the same move, where Sudowoodo's mimicking a specific action, while Smeargle's making a copy, so I guess its version of Sketch makes sense. Tyrogue is okay. Just looks like a fighting guy, right? I don't have anything strong for or against Tyrogue. I like that it looks a little bit ready for combat. Unlike the rest of these baby Pokemon, this thing looks strong, I guess. It looks like it's a creature that wants to fight instead of, you know, is a baby being forced out of the crib into combat. Hitmontop is a Pokemon that I think its original appearances, it would have been A. Its 3D appearances put it in D, similar to, like, Typhlosion. So I think it's only right to put it in... Oh, whoops. We'll get to you last, actually. You're not going to be that high, I promise. I think it's only right to put it in, like, C. I just like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee better. I like that it has a little bit of a devil-like tail quality. Capoeira is another cool thing for Pokemon to reference. For those of you that are curious, Capoeira was a form of martial arts, mostly used by enslaved people in the Caribbeans, way back when, you know, slavery was the hot thing that white people did. Don't comment about the prison industrial complex. I know. I already know. Don't already know. We can comment. Just go to the long video and comment that shit, okay? Just go to the longer videos, the ones that are more overtly political, not these. But you know, when slavery was the hottest shit on the block, right? It was illegal for slaves to have weapons and illegal for them to learn how to fight. So what they did was, well, we got to figure out a way to defend ourselves and fight, and maybe do a little, even sports a little bit sometimes too, right? So they invented a form of martial arts that also looked like a dance routine, which is capoeira. Very, very cool. A lot of very harsh cardio. I don't think I have the mobility to do it now, but it is very fun and very interesting, and probably a lot of where we get breakdancing from as well. So that's pretty good. So if there's ever like a B-boy Pokemon trainer ever, maybe they should use Hitmontop as a cool reference to where certain elements of breakdancing come from. Capoeira. Cool. So you've been history lesson like 3 times today. Smoochum is absolutely a improvement on Jinx. What a fucking glow up. But I still am not super thrilled about Smoochum though. Still don't like Smoochum. Don't get the wrong idea. But it definitely is a glow up. A solid okay. It looks like a creature that would turn into Jinx. Its purple face kind of solidifies that Jinx is not the floating abyss that I prefer it to be. Smoochum, I don't have anything particular to say about it. Yep, that looks like a thing that turns into a Jinx. It's like they say, be careful who you call ugly in high school, because they might have just been beaten with the ugly stick at the age of 13, which I think happened to Jinx, and also the racist stick too. Elekid is pretty good. I like Elekid. I like that it has big old hands to swing around. I like that its head is a plug. I like that its front chest has electricity on it. That's pretty good. Probably like Magby, about the same as Elekid. I like that they're both baby Pokemon, but much like Tyrogue, they look ready to brawl. I don't know to what degree are my taste in Pokemon incredibly masculine, with the occasional Hoppip and Porygon 2 sneaking in, but I do like these guys. They're very cute. These two, along with Smoochum, again, are supposed to form a sort of trio, but Nintendo snuffed that out, saying, "Hey, you know, people actually think Jinx is quite racist, so let's just not even mess with that. Let's just put that one away," which I respect. It's probably the best thing to do. Although I would have just owned it and just made Jinx a floating face. I wouldn't feel offended if I saw a floating face. If I saw a floating face in the void, I would probably not associate it with like me specifically, but you know, it is what it is. Smoochum's alright. And those other two evolutions are even better. Electabuzz looks really wild, but Elekid looks very organized and together. A lot less of that Oni quality that I liked so much, but it's okay. I still like Elekid. I like its shape. It's very charming. And having those ears that are also electrical plugs really help too. Miltank is fine. It's okay. It's another Johto Pokemon. It's another Pokemon that just sort of exists in this larger ecosystem. I don't like it as a foil to or the female version of Tauros. I'm not really sure about that one, but it's okay. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I respect what it is. I don't like that it's pink. I do like that it seems to have like a little bit of a hood thing going on. Although it kind of makes me think of like a BDSM thing, which maybe I don't want to think about Miltank for that specifically. It seems to be about as over-designed as a lot of Generation 1 Pokemon. I kind of wish it was another quadruped Pokemon that sort of walked around similar to Tauros, because it's weird that like the boy version of this Pokemon walks on all fours, and the girl version is upright with something I just described as a dominatrix hood. Okay, well, that's enough. I don't want to ever talk about that Pokemon ever again in my entire fucking life. I didn't even talk about how much I hate Whitney. Anyway, Blissey is very good at S. It's a good upgrade on an already alright Pokemon. That's very good. Talk about a glow up. It just got its hair did. It has a lot more angelic qualities to it that makes it look more like an explicit healer Pokemon without that being an informed quality from the anime, or well, I guess it's in Pokemon Centers actually. Still has the one egg. That's okay. I like that it has more of a dress now, but the dress also sort of looks like Angel Wings a little bit. Got its hair did. This Pokemon got really, really elegant between Generation 1 and 2, instead of its just, kind of big axolotl thing. Now it looks very openly dainty and angelic, and I like that. I love that. This is very good. Entei, Suicune, and Raikou are interesting. So individually, I have a hard time putting them any higher than C, just individually. Yes, even Suicune. Well, maybe Suicune can go in B, actually. However, as a group, as a trio of Pokemon, how their overall aesthetic comes together and what they represent as a whole, I really do like it. And the way I see Entei, Suicune, and Raikou as almost three cryptid Pokemon at the bottom of S, actually. Nah. Perfect. So I see these three things as a sort of cryptid Pokemon, in that they aren't really hiding out anywhere. They just sort of exist in Johto, as a lot of these Johto Pokemon just sort of do. They're not really doing anything. They're just sort of hanging out, being animals. And these three Pokemon are just sort of running around. In secrecy, generally not being bothered, and only showing themselves to, like, the most kindest and pure-hearted of trainers, which are, in a region where there don't really seem to be all that many trainers, and just, a lot of people kind of milling about with Pokemon, and a lot of Pokemon that aren't really interested in fighting that much. That could be a disproportionately small number of people, on top of the already, you have to be this strong of heart and this good of a trainer and blah, 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 blah. So, when you see these Pokemon and you try to tell your friends the next day, you're going to describe a lot of different Pokemon. Because these creatures have so many features on them, it's kind of hard to put a finger on exactly what you saw. It's totally possible that someone thought you were talking about an Eevee, an Arcanine, or any other number of dog-like Pokemon that sort of share an affinity or share a color with these guys. and they're very hard to describe individually if you were to find them. So when you tell people about them, no one's going to believe you. I like the unifying thing of their backs sort of represent what they do, kind of. Intake's back sort of looks like an explosion. Like its little wing things look like a burst, with the top looking like a bellowing smoke. Raikou sort of has clouds going on, leading to its lightning strike tail, and Suicune just kind of has a flowing, I always thought that was like a shell, but, a flowing aurora going down it, along with like, these, ribbons that, well, I guess they might be whiskers, but I'll assume that they're like ribbons that very much flow. And they feel natural for all three of these Pokemon, and it broadly does look pretty great. I think their individual designs are a little bit wonky, but I think they complement each other to where, as a team, they're so much more than they are as individuals. Like, if someone just had a Raikou, I wouldn't really have much to say about it. Or in Pokemon Crystal, I didn't really care that much about Suicune individually, but I did care about the legend of the three dogs, though. And that legend felt the most interesting to me of all the Pokemon legends, because it's such a relatively small story that is very much steeped in local lore and mythos, but don't really have any implication behind them. There's no implication of like a greater threat, or like, you know, they're awaiting the day that someone will blah 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 blah, although they kind of were. No, they're just three creatures that just sort of exist and are strong, and I like that. Larvitar. Yeah, I like it about maybe a little less than all the babies, I suppose. It's okay. So Larvitar kind of looks like it has a card suit like quality to me, because it has like the diamond pattern on its chest, both in red and black. Red and black on the eyes, with like a little bit coming down, and gives it sort of jester-like quality. I like that, and it's really a shame that they don't seem to keep that for Tyranitar. But that is the thing that makes me like Larvitar so much, is that sort of card-like quality. That again, I really wish they would have kept for Pupitar and Tyranitar. Bruce. I'll explain in a second. So Richie in the Pokemon anime had one of these boys, and its name was Bruce. That's good. So unlike Metapod, I can tell exactly what this thing's supposed to be, and it's a big cocoon. I don't care for how long it stays a cocoon, but I do like that its cocoon is a big mask. That's another very Common Rider thing. And yes, I do understand that it's not so much that they look like Common Riders, but more so that Common Rider masks tend to look like insect faces anyway. I understand that, but this is Pokemon we're talking about, and they openly talk about how much they're influenced by tokusatsu and stuff, so there you go. Its face looks like a mask. I like how it's another mysterious core Pokemon. I really love all of those. I don't know how I feel about its color palette, though. I kind of wish it turned red, especially given what I know about what's going to be Tyranitar as well. It looks like it has a diamond outside. I think for a bug middle stage Pokemon that also represents sort of the apex predator in this region, I do like even its cocoon has a certain powerful and regal quality to it, and still looks like it can really, you know, hold its own despite just being a cocoon, right? Tyranitar, I don't even have to think about that one too much. It's an easy A. Easy, easy, easy. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So Tyranitar is a very good Pokemon. I wish it had more red on it, but that might have made it contrast too much, but who knows. It's another Kaiji Pokemon. You know how much I love those. It it incorporates elements of Larvitar and Pupitar into its final design. It's very cute. It has those vents that Larvitar and Pupitar seem to have. It has its layer of armor seems to sprout from Pupitar, possibly with Pupitar in like the center of it. That might be really cool. And Pupitar is like piloting this giant mech. I don't think that's what it's going for, but again, Pokemon always talks about, or rather, Pokemon creators always talk about how much they're influenced by like monster movies and stuff, so it makes enough sense. But really though, it does look like an evolution of Larvitar. It doesn't look like it's so much hatched from its cocoon, but so much so that it's more so that its cocoon looked like it evolved into something else. And this is just like the big creature behind it. I'm not really sure why it's a dark type, but I'll roll with it. It looks a little bit more like dragony to me, but okay, that's fine, I suppose. Maybe Nintendo thought that might have been a little bit too good balance-wise. But it's an in-game Pokemon. You don't get until like literally the last 10 minutes of the game, so I don't see why not. Right, this thing looks very good, very fearsome. Truly worthy of the dragon status in Johto. And it seems like another very good Pokemon that would be very good 50 feet high. Lugia is okay. It has Yowie hands. Looks like it's going, oh, come on, I'm flying over here. It has a lot going on. It has a certain okay. Much like, Suicune, Entei, and Raikou, individually, I don't like Lugia at all. Probably going to, like, lower C. But as a mirror with Ho-Oh, that I would just on its own just put an S, I think they work excellently as a team. In fact, I hate putting anything above Noctowl, really, or Murkrow, but I think, yeah, these two, I mean the upper and lower of S. No, I actually don't like you more than, I like it more than, Nah, this thing is great. This thing is an absolute legend. A Pokemon that heralds rainbows, like revivals, rebirths. Ho-Oh is amazing, and I love this thing so much. This feels truly like the first legendary Pokemon, right? Like, Raikou, Suicune, and Entei feel like cryptid Pokemon. They feel rare, and they feel like rare Pokemon. Or like, vaguely supernatural ones that are also rare. Possibly even having more ghost-like qualities, but maybe a little bit more majestic. But Ho-Oh feels like something that, kings and emperors would have, and like, with the three dogs, you might hear a story about them, like, oh man, when Entei shows up, that's why volcanoes erupt, or, just like very, myths, basically, like God of the Gap thing, that, like, you use these Pokemon and attribute certain phenomena to them, even if they do or don't actually do it. Ho-Oh feels like a Pokemon that has literal legends attributed to it. Like, I don't know, like the Great Fire of 400 BC, or 400 BC, where it was rumored that Ho-Oh, I don't know. Ho-Oh is a Pokemon that an emperor would have. It feels very regal. It feels very legendary. It feels a larger-than-life being that there is no question on if something like Ho-Oh exists. It's just a matter of who's worthy of seeing it. It's a Pokemon you really, bow down to. You go, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. It feels like a sacred phoenix Pokemon. A lot of these legendary Pokemon don't often feel like they are in the deity range, but in the some type of supernatural spirit range. But Ho-Oh definitely feels like a sacred spirit of fire, and I really appreciate it, and I love what it is, and it makes sense that it lives upon the Tin Tower. And I wonder to what degree did they want to call it the Tin Pagoda or something, but realized that had too many characters, because boy, Generation 2 of Pokemon has quite a few pagodas, actually, now that I think about it. Lugia, I got so wrapped up in talking about Ho, I forgot I didn't talk about Lugia. I guess that shows you my thoughts on Lugia. So where Ho-Oh feels like a Pokemon that's tied to humanity in some way, like stories of civilization, probably revolve around Ho-Oh. Like whatever Pokemon's version of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, it feels like it would involve Ho-Oh in some way. I don't get that vibe with Lugia. Lugia feels like a very ancient being that predates humanity by a long time, and humanity sort of built up mythos and stuff around Lugia that more or less acts independently, where Ho-Oh feels like it has more of an active role in the world. And I think that's kind of what the lore sort of is, where Lugia is hiding at the bottom of the sea like a Cthulhu-like monster that waits for the day someone would fuck around and find out when it comes to the ocean. While Ho-Oh feels like it's a little bit more proactive in like the thoughts and dreams of like humanity and things like that, and like the broader moral virtues, and like how people are actively interacting with the environment instead of being a little bit more reactionary like Ho-Oh, or like Lugia rather. And finally, we have Celebi. Celebi's okay, I guess. So this one does have a very particular fairy-like quality to it that I like. It feels like an evolution of Mew, like a kind of Pokemon that, if Mew was one of the progenitor Pokemon, then Celebi would have been a Pokemon that followed in Mew's footsteps, like perhaps evolved to be Mew for a more forest-like environment, like still has a lot of those fairy and supernatural-like qualities. A lot of those still, kind of fetal-like qualities to it too as well. I don't know how I feel about its eyes. I don't like that it has fingers. And the biggest one, I don't know how this thing relates to time travel. Celebi is supposed to be the time travel Pokemon, but doesn't really seem to have any time traveling direct qualities in its move set. I don't understand why this Pokemon is arbitrarily the time travel Pokemon. Maybe that would communicate more if I really stretch it. Celebi is a green Pokemon and it's supposed to be based on like a combination of Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, and Peter Pan does not age. He's immune to time itself, and maybe that's what Celebi is supposed to be going for, but I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. Maybe there's a fairy tale about a fairy that takes you back in time, makes you do It's a Wonderful Life that I'm not missing, or that I am missing, but I don't know. I feel like this thing is a good attempt of making a mythical Pokemon, but a very good example of, along with Lugia, I suppose, is, well, maybe not quite as much Lugia, but you should really have this idea of what this Pokemon does fully formed and not just what it is. But I do like it overall, and if you're curious about Lugia, there's like a 30-minute video from Did You Know Gaming all about Lugia. I didn't know this thing had so much history to it. But what can I say? Takeshi Shudo is a very interesting guy. Okay. Well, that's the Pokemon tier list in just over 2 hours. Just in time, because I think those things that I ate earlier are about here. So we got Wooper as the chosen one, up in S tier. We got a lot of really good Pokemon in A tier, honestly. And a lot of really good ones in S rather, excuse me. A lot of good ones in A. Even the B ones I tend to like a lot. The C ones, I think it depends on the day. The D ones I broadly don't like, but I can get behind under the right circumstances. Except for Togetic. Not really a fan of Togetic. In fact, these two, Togetic, Delibird, really not a fan. I hate those guys. All these, yeah, I'm really not a fan of any of these, but I guess I'd respect an NPC trainer using them as an opponent. But I just don't like them. Once again, we are ending with a flying normal type. But we got Wooper this time. We got Wooper. Is it going to be all downhill from here? Now, I'm not going to say yes. But I am saying that I am of a very particular age where these Pokemon were part of my formative years, so I'll naturally have a bias towards them a little bit more so. But I definitely think that other generations have their gems, even if they don't have the same nostalgic quality, or I don't always grant them the same favorability that I do for Generation 1 and 2. So, I meant to tell you to like the video at the beginning. Oh well, I'm just chilling out, it's okay. That concludes the second entirely objective tier list. I know, the first tier list that's scientifically proven to be objectively correct. I probably should have started with that. That would have made the joke that I made last time land home. Well, I hope you had, if you're ever curious about telling your friends which Pokemon is objectively the best one, well, this is the first objective list of the Gen 2 Pokemon. So, if you like this, I'm going to do the rest of them for the rest of the Pokemon eventually. Maybe that's what I'll do on Saturdays, who knows. Okay, get out of here. Like the video, subscribe, get out of here. Beat it. Beat it.